Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello there, everyone. This is Sandy Anastasi, and I want to welcome you to my Psychic Hour. This is the Psychic Hour for October, and I am, as always, delighted to see all of you here. We're going to have people from so many different places on here this evening. I'm recognizing a few names from our VIP and my client list, and I'm seeing a couple of new names, which is really exciting. So those of you who are new to my Psychic Hour, I want to thank you for being here. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview, especially for the new people, about how this goes and what you can expect of it, and also do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's start with what you can expect of it. Folks, I am a psychic channel, and when I do these psychic hours, you're basically getting readings and guidance and information and insight, not just from me, but from my guides who actually come through me and give the information to you. So this is really channeled readings that you're getting with me on the psychic hour and in my regular readings as well. We have a way of connecting, and those of you who've been, I recognize names who return every month. Those of you who've been here for quite some time, you know that when my guides are answering a question for one person, they have a way of hitting questions for 8 or 10 people in the audience who have related questions. So even though somebody else might be getting the reading, it's very important for you to be paying attention because your information could be coming through during that other person's reading. Okay, so this is just a bundle of fun. We do this monthly. It's always free. In the chat room is my assistant, Lisa, who will be also answering your questions. So if you're shy and you don't want to raise your hand, you can always type your question into the chat room, and Lisa will usually look for questions she thinks are going to be pertinent to everyone or repetitive questions, but that's another way of getting your questions answered. Also, if you want to ask a question, raise your hand as soon as you come online, and we'll know that you want to be called on. Lisa is the person who's in charge of calling on everyone. She usually tries to call on people who are new first, or people who intuitively she just knows need that reading or that the information is going to be pertinent to more people. And I think she does a pretty darn good job of it. So big kudos to Lisa. I also want to let you know I have a little thing that I do for you folks, and I'm going to continue to do it this evening. If you do not get a question or get called on to ask a question tonight in this next hour, anytime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow night, you can write the email address here or write my assistant Lisa at lisasainc@aol.com and send that question in. A simple one, not 10 questions, but one simple question, and my guides and I will be glad to answer that. And you usually will get your answer back within the next week or so. I'm pretty good with getting to them. Okay, so anytime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow night, if you didn't get your question answered in tonight's session, you'll still have a chance to ask that one question of me, and that'll come back to you via your email. Okay, let's talk about a few of the things that I've got coming up, and then we're going to jump into doing readings and just going wherever my guides take us. I love doing this particular psychic hour for October, by the way, because as you know from my editorial, I love, 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 love Halloween. It's one of my very favorite holidays. In fact, if I wasn't going to be in channel with you this evening, I'd be wearing my little witch hat because I really, really enjoy doing the dress up as a witch thing and giving out all the candy to the kids every Halloween. This is just my favorite time of year, except for Christmas. That's really, they sort of vie for number one in my estimation. Well, here are the things I've got coming up I want you to know about. First of all, please make a note that your next psychic hour, and I didn't write it on here, but let's see, that next psychic hour for November is going to be on November 17th. So please make a note of that so that if you do enjoy yourself this evening, you know you can come back and do it again next month on November 17th. Also, my VIP members, please make a note that your next Q&A, this is just for VIP members, is November 21st. I want to apologize for that. Somebody who is online in the queue who's going to get called on is having a trouble with their throat right now. And so I'm going to ask your guides to back off so that I can actually talk, okay? Because somebody's already coming through, and whoever the person is attached to that information, they've got something going on with either a cold, flu, nasal drip, something going on. We'll find that out later. Anyway, the October monthly reading special, now that's in effect right now, folks. So you can call me or Lisa to book that appointment, or you can book it right online on my website. If you want to sit with me and find out if you have mediumship ability, how you can best access it, if you want to develop it, what are the best tools in your toolbox that you've already got that you can utilize to develop that skill, you've got 4 days left to book that reading. Okay, so I wanted to make sure you all knew about that. That one's just about to be done. And my upcoming reading, this is for November, my reading special. Now that doesn't start until November 1st, but that will be what's coming up for you in the next 3 months. So that's very, very future oriented. And it's going to give you a look at November, December, and January, so jumping into the new year as well. So it's going to really give you an insight into how you're going to go through that holiday season. And that's coming starting November 1st and going all through November. That's my reading special for the month. I also have a Portals webinar. I've been advertising. You may have seen it online. That's going to be run on November 14th. And folks, that's going to be very, very intense. I don't want to go into a whole lot of depth about it now. That's what the seminar is about. But we live in a multidimensional world. And that Portals webinar is going to explore the multidimensional quality of our world and how you can actually move between those dimensions consciously. It gets very, very detailed, how you set up your own pattern to move yourself into the future that you want to create. We're really going to go into the whole concept of portals, what they are, how to create them, how you're already creating them, and where they already are turning up in your world. It's going to be a real deep look at a word that people throw around without knowing what it means. By the time you're done with that webinar, not only will you know what it means, you're going to understand how to create portals yourself. Also, in December, I'm going to be doing a 2020 overview, and that'll be on December 19th. And that's not just January, that's going to be an overview of the whole year of 2020. So we're going to get a really good, kind of general big world look, and maybe even be able to look at individual signs and what's kind of coming up for you folks over the next year. So we get a feel for what's coming to us in 2020. We'll do that on December 19th. Also, I have a ton of Black Friday specials that are coming up in November, which begins next week. You realize it begins next Friday. We're almost into November already? How amazing is that? This year's just flown by. Well, once we get into November, of course, I'm thinking Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and I've got specials. So please keep your eyes posted for my newsletter and my special announcements that I send out, because there are some really good things I'm going to be offering for you folks. And 2 more things I'm going to announce, and then we're going to jump into our psychic hour for the evening. I want you all to write on your calendar, if you're interested in developing your own psychic abilities, my next Anastasi System of Psychic Development class that I'm doing live online begins on January 22nd of 2020. Now, that's not even on the website yet. People don't know about that yet. But if you want to get on the list and you want to be in that class and you want to find out about it, definitely sign up for my newsletter, and also contact Lisa, Lisa SA Inc. at AOL.com. She'll get your name on that list. that class fills up. I have a limit on how many people I can take in it. So if that interests you, you really have to jump on that. Now, last but not least, if you're like me and you love to cruise, well, our April cruise is starting to fill up. It's on April 18th through 23rd. It's on the Independence of the Seas, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale for 5 nights and 6 days of fun. Imagine spending 5 nights and 6 days with a bunch of psychics, having one big, long psychic party. It's going to be just amazing. We will have a lot of special events. I'll be doing one of my messages sessions that I really very rarely do. We'll have a psychic fair. We will visit the Rose Hall House in Jamaica and meet some ghosts, maybe. We're going to talk about it. We're just going to have a wonderful time on that cruise. So if it sounds like it's exciting to you, go to my website, www.sandyanastasi.com. Right up there in the corner on this page, you'll find that. And find out how to register. In order to be part of our group, you've got to register through our group, not just with the cruise line. Okay, that's it for my announcements. And I must be talking fast this evening because I finished with them faster than usual, and I even had more than usual. So that's pretty cool. Lisa, who's our first victim? By the way, I do need to tell you what I need you to do when you raise your hand. When Lisa calls on you, and she's going to call on you when you have your hand raised or when you write a question in the chat room, I would like to know your name, where you're calling from, what you're most grateful for in this moment, right now, this evening. I'd also like to know your sun sign. And I'm going to give you a lot of information just from that sun sign. And then we're going to address your specific question. Okay? So your name, where you're from, what you're most grateful for, and then your sun sign and your specific question. Lisa, who is first?
All righty, the first victim for tonight is Melissa.
You know, when you say first victim, I feel like I should have worn my vampire fangs just for effect.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Oh, I'm really well. This is my first time, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Now, am I allowed to ask you specific questions, or are they supposed to be for everyone?
Don't worry about it. I'll guide you through. Melissa,
Okay.
the first thing I need to know is where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ogdensburg, New York.
Oh, wow. My alma mater. Not quite the same town, but I am originally from New York. I grew up on Long Island.
I knew.
And what are you most grateful for in your life right now?
My family.
Awesome. Very happy to hear that. I think this is especially the right time of year for us really to be able to connect with family. So that is especially nice tonight. And what's your sun sign?
You mean
When
my
were you born?
Aquarius?
What's your date of birth?
September 16th, 1966.
Okay, so you're a Virgo. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what you're seeing on this board is what we call a Horary chart. This is on your computer screen. This is a one-time throwaway chart. It's a chart for tonight. And every single person who's on this webinar who came with a question or even not is shown in this chart, including you. Isn't that nifty?
Oh, it's really cool.
And as soon as the webinar is done, I roll it up because I actually have a paper copy and I throw it away and it's done. It's only for you guys, okay? Now, if you look at this chart, you'll see that the fifth house cusp is Virgo and it's at 28 degrees. So most of the sign Virgos in this fourth house. In astrology, you know, the fourth house rules family. So, of course, Melissa's most grateful for her family right now. As a matter of fact, Melissa, probably what you've got mostly on your mind is things all about your family. Meanwhile, though, we have an opposition here to Neptune and Pisces, okay? An opposition means that these two things are pulling in opposite directions. And Neptune tends to create things that, you know, you just don't see clearly. So you may a little bit concerned that you've got some family members that something's going on, you don't know what's going on with them, you're worried about them. You
Right.
may have some family members that you want to be around for the holiday. You don't know if they're going to be able to make it or not. That could be, Thanksgiving,
Right.
Christmas, the whole season. But
Mm.
something else too, you may have some family members that either have addictive patterns or codependent patterns or something going on with them that you feel they might be hiding something and you can't quite put your finger on it.
That's right.
Likewise, you may also have a couple of family members connected maybe to your husband or your husband's side of the family who are incredibly creative people and who maybe like to spend time on the water. And, you don't see them all that often, but when you do, you always have this burst of creativity coming. So what I just said, Melissa, regarding you, believe it or not, is pertinent to every other Virgo on the call. In
Okay.
fact, the Pisces are going to feel like relates to them, and so
Right.
will the Sagittarians, and so will the Geminis, all we call the mutable signs. Now, we also have a square aspect to Jupiter here, and so you've got people coming that you don't know if are coming, traveling. You've got some travel plans yourself that probably have to do with your husband's side of the family, but you're not really sure if you're going to be able to make them or not. And you've got somebody on his side of the family that's got some very severe health problems, and you're really worried if they're going to make it through the holidays or not. So there's your general, and those same things are affecting the Pisces, the Sagittarians, the Virgos, and the Geminis, but in different ways. For you, it's probably mostly coming through your, extended family, from your husband's side of the family, and the immediate family you're trying to keep close and keep protected. You
Right.
may have a little bit of concerns about the kids and who they're getting involved with that you don't know enough about. But again, that's extended. That's not right close to you. Now, if
Right.
you were a Pisces, all this would be happening directly to you.
Right. Okay.
You see the difference? But it
I
affects
do.
every one of you guys. That's why I said when my guides come in and give this information, always pay attention because I might just be talking to you, but wow, that just hit everybody. Okay?
Right.
Now, what is your specific question? And you can be as specific as you like.
Um, I suffer from a lot of chronic health issues, and some are kind of dangerous. I'm only 52, and it has really, I think, brought me down to the point where sometimes lately, just recently lately, I can't complete anything. I can't concentrate because there's so much noise. So even when I go to meditate, I'm having a really hard time doing it.
Okay.
And just to get like I just can't seem I'm in a rut is I guess is what I want to say. And I don't usually get like this bad.
Yeah.
And it makes me concerned that maybe I didn't make the right decisions with my health care. It's just really difficult. It's pretty complicated.
You know,
Central nervous system
my guide,
stuff.
let me talk. My guides are saying that you did make the right decisions with your health care, given what
Okay.
was available to you. Okay. Now, what you are picking up, because you are very intuitive. Okay.
Yeah, I
And
am.
what you're picking up is that, the doctors you're working with aren't hitting the right problems.
Right, I know.
And here's the issue, and I'm going to show this to you astrologically, even though you're not an astrologer, because you're going to get it. It's cool. My
Yeah.
guides are saying you've been an astrologer in other lifetimes, and your mind works like an astrologer, so you're going to get this. Um,
Okay.
Neptune, remember I said it's opposing your sun? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Neptune rules body fluids. It rules infectious diseases. It rules things like uh, I can't think of the name for it, but that what gets in your sinuses and clogs your sinuses up. Neptune rules everything that has to do with body fluids, waters, even hormones in your body. And
Right.
when it
Okay.
gets involved with health issues, it camouflages, it conceals, and it makes it almost impossible for you to diagnose.
Right.
So I cannot blame the doctors for misdiagnosing you. Okay, what
Right.
they're doing is it's like the horse is out of the barn, they're chasing it and trying to put a bridle on it.
Right.
You know?
I know.
They're just trying to treat symptoms. They can't get to the core of what's wrong. Here's the
Correct.
way back when things first started to go wrong. That's when you could have been diagnosed. The problem is, and this leads to something else, Neptune makes you incredibly psychically sensitive. Don't you love it?
Right. I
And
know.
so way back when these things first started to happen, you began to experience these feelings and these sensations, and you knew something was wrong, and you went to the doctor and you told him what was wrong, and he did the tests and nothing showed up yet.
Right.
And so you were aware of what was wrong initially, and
I
they
was.
couldn't diagnose it because nothing showed up on the test. You knew it before it was there.
Right. I
Okay?
did. You're right.
So,
I did.
yeah. So the problem is that by the time, they put you on the wrong drugs. And then what happened is that it camouflaged the symptoms to make them look like other things. So now they're
Right.
hitting you for other things, and they never did hit the initial thing that was wrong. Okay? Now,
That's exactly how I feel.
right. So now what you've got to do is recognize that, number one, from here on, don't ever accept one doctor's opinion. Always
Oh,
get two more. Okay.
right.
You've got to have at least three. That's number one. Before you go on a drug, have a surgery, anything like that. Three opinions. Number
Okay.
two, you need to follow your own intuition. If
Yeah.
you wake up in the morning and you feel like you shouldn't be getting out of bed, today's a day you need to sleep, well then do it. If you get
Okay.
out of bed in the morning and you say, I know it was that roast I had last night. I just feel like that's what's getting to me. Guess what? You're right, it is. You need to
Okay.
start recognizing that your intuition is the best guide that you have to be able to get on top of your own health issues.
Okay. Good.
Okay? And
Uh-huh.
find yourself a doctor who will listen to you.
Gotcha.
And do your best to try to go into doctors that are treating the whole body, not just
I.
part of
Yep.
it.
That's exactly where I'm going
Yeah, and you'll
now.
do better with that. My guides are saying that you can achieve complete health again, but they're also
Oh.
saying it's going to take, it's not going to be easy, okay? Because it's
Okay.
going to take the cooperation of your family. And that's the part that's not so easy. There's,
That's right.
there's going to be a lot that has to do with control of diet and food, what goes in, you see?
Right. Okay.
And because that's what created the problem to begin with.
Gotcha.
It's also not surprising at all that you said you're only 52. You realize that everything you're going through is hormone related.
I had a
Neptune,
history in the 20s.
right? Neptune rules the hormones. Okay, and
Uh,
you've had a problem with hormones all of your life, but right now
yeah.
it's absolutely insane. And if you don't get a control over the hormone situation, you're going to continue to feel sick all of your life, and you're going to go from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other. Meanwhile, it is completely and totally correctable.
I understand. That's amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I
And
really
get your
appreciate
get
that.
your husband on board with you. He's probably the only one in the family who will actually back you up on this. Everybody else is going to give you a hard time because they don't want you controlling what they eat.
Oh, they eat more. They eat a lot more healthy than I do. They're always my kids are older, so they
You're
think
right.
they're my dads.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at that, but you do have one kid. You have one kid who's a sugar addict. I think it's a girl. You got to get her off of that.
Yeah, my daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. And as far as you're concerned, you also have to get off the sugar. Isn't that a horrible thing? But you really have to. Um,
Right. And I gave up drinking soda like 7 months ago.
yeah,
So
good.
I the only sugar I have is just in my coffee a little bit in the morning. So
No,
I have
mm-mm,
done that.
no, you're going to be amazed, folks. Now I'm going to sound like Sandy the health food nut.
I
Uh,
know. Fine.
years back, I had problems with candida. I'm talking about
Uh-huh.
in the 90s. It's been a long time ago. So I went on and I'm a vegetarian, or at least I was a total vegetarian back then. Today I'm a pescatarian. I eat fish. But the thing is, all the way back then, you know how hard it is to cut out sugar and carbs. You got to cut out carbs too, or at least reduce them. I had to reduce my carbs to 10 or less. If you're a meat eater, it's easier to do that because you can substitute meats and dairy and things like that.
Yeah.
The thing is that carbohydrates aren't just carbs; they're one step away from a simple sugar.
Yeah, I know. And I do crave carbs.
So you cut out your
And
sugar,
I'm
you cut out
thin,
your
so
cake, you cut
not
out your
like
pasta, you cut out your potatoes. It's a
yeah.
big deal. But you want to know something? When you get done doing that, guess what? You've got your health back again.
Okay.
Yeah, my guide showed me a lot. I've never told this to too many people, but this is a funny story. Um, Back when I was in my 30s, my guide showed me a sugar bowl with a big X over it, no sugar. And
Right.
like, okay, I'm one of those people that's going to get diabetes if I eat sugar, right?
r-
What
Right.
I did, I outsmarted him. I started putting honey in my tea and stuff, my coffee instead of sugar, right? Well,
Right.
I went to see psychic George Anderson, world famous medium, one of those few people who actually saw the guy, okay?
Right.
And he couldn't connect with anybody because I had pushed everything out, didn't know how to do nothing around me except my guides, right? And he
Right.
goes, this is really funny. There's nobody around you. There's only somebody up there. And I said, okay, what are they saying? He says, well, they're telling me a jar of honey with a big X over it.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was
So
kind of funny. Well,
yeah, so I
you're getting the
this
same thing. You need to cut out the sugar and reduce the carbs dramatically, and you're going
I
to
will.
immediately feel better. And that's going to get you into the point where you're going to be able to start knowing what's healthy for you and what's not healthy for you. And you do need to go to a doctor that I can't think of the name of it. They're not giving me the name, but it's a doctor that's holistic and helps you to deal with the balance of hormones. And this is
Yeah.
not a gynecologist. Okay, that's not the
No,
one.
it would be an endocrinologist.
Um, Maybe even an age management doctor. Endocrinologist that's almost more extreme than you need. You need
Right.
somebody who's going to get all those chakras, the energy systems,
Right.
all
Right.
out. Okay. And the whole reason that your brain is getting clouded is because you're getting clogged. I think you've got candida pretty badly.
You think what?
I think you have candida.
Oh,
Yeah. Check that out. Have it checked.
I'm going to. Is it Candina?
Candida.
Okay.
That's what happens when a yeast infection goes systemic. And
Yeah.
even gets into your brain tissue and it feeds on sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will definitely do that.
I've got to move on to my next person, but
I know.
this was
Thank you
a
so
great
much.
question. Thank you. And thanks for calling in. And I really think that question is really appropriate and affects so many people on here. And the reason I'm saying that is this aspect here between Neptune, which is in Pisces, and we now all know rules body fluids and chemistries and hormones and all that stuff. It's in a hard aspect to Jupiter, and Jupiter rules sugar. So, how much you want to bet that everybody on here right now is with Halloween coming is already on their sugar high? Okay, Lisa, who is our next caller?
All right, the next person we're going to call on is Jacqueline. You are unmuted.
Hi, good evening, Sandy.
Hi, Jacqueline. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. My name's Jacqueline, and I'm calling you tonight from Naples, Florida. And I'm grateful for health, family, and friends. And I'm Pisces.
I was about to say, guess what? You're in the same boat as, as Melissa, aren't you?
I think I'm the person who had the throat issue that you were clearing earlier, so I apologize for that. My question is work related. I've been working on something now for almost a year, working with a client.
This is an astrology lesson. She says her question's work related. Here's Pisces in this house, and this is the house of career. And the planet here is Neptune, which is your ruling planet. So here's your big break, the thing you've been working on for a year. Actually, been working on it for longer than a year, haven't you? Probably about 3 or 4 years, actually. And it's
Yes,
very intensely creative, isn't it? And boy, is it your baby. But you need help to launch it. So take it from there.
I don't know if it's my baby. I am an attorney, and I took a pro bono case years ago to help an identity theft victim. And we've been through hell and back with that efforts. And I've been working on a lawsuit with him that's going to turn into, I think, something much bigger. But this one, I don't know if I've misjudged it or if I'm just fully not understanding what the other side's not understanding. But I feel like almost spinning wheels at times, and I think I have the right strategies, but I don't know. I just need some guidance.
The problem here is that there are other things involved that you don't know about. Okay? And there are other things involved that are being hidden on purpose and not just by the other party. Okay? I suspect that this happened where there were more. It feels like it wasn't just an identity theft where one person. It could be like there was an identity theft ring and that it was tied into an institution. You see? So this is bigger. You're right. It's bigger than you think, and it's tied into things that you don't know about. So my suggestion is to look and see who is working with the same group. What attorneys are working with the same group or with the same issue, not just identity theft, but identity theft coming from that particular place, or that, because this looks like it would almost be something that could be filed as a group, not more than just one person. You're right. This is big. This is big.
Class action. Class action is what we're thinking on. What you're saying is making total sense to me right now, and you're giving me chills.
Yeah, you're looking at a class action thing, and that's tied into something big. There's no doubt. Let's just practice for a minute. This has to do with the fact that there's a whole lot of money involved, so somebody's really scarfing up on this. Okay, and
Yes.
it also has to do with something where there's another country involved. It's coming from out of the country. Okay. And this is interesting. I was thinking Brazil because I know Brazil is really big on this kind of thing, but my guides keep saying Colombia. Why that is, I don't know. The thing is, you're getting international stuff here. And I know that sounds really strange, identity theft with an American, but there's international issues happening here, and it is class action, and it is involving some big group or institution.
Okay. So right now, we're dealing with a debt buyer on a smaller case that should be resolving, and spin-offs from that are going to be class actions. I am just one person, and they're burying me.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
That's
I'm
what,
bringing in. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm bringing in a local firm that I think will be able to blow everything up and take everything where it needs to go. But am I going to stay involved, and how long before we get anything resolved? And is my client okay?
here's the thing. I'm not comfortable with the firm you're bringing in. I do know you need additional help. You can't do it yourself. But that particular firm you're bringing in, either maybe it might be that they're not enough, that you need more people than that, or it may be that they don't have the same take on it that you do. I do think that you are going to be no longer involved once you bring that firm in. Your client is going to be very unhappy with the situation. You're comfortable. They're not going to be happy.
What can I do to resolve it so that my client is happy?
There's nothing. The only thing you can really do is go, I'm sorry, but this is honestly what you'll have to do. You need to go to the client and you say, I've really gone as far with this as I can go as an individual. I'm turning you over to a group that I think has better connections right now. And that's the best that I can do. I wish you luck.
We can't resolve the small case and still go on the large case. I mean, my client, we can voluntarily dismiss, but
yes, you can. You can resolve the small case and go on the large case. But that's what you weren't asking that.
You're breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat what you just said?
You can resolve the small case and go on the larger case. You certainly can. But that wasn't the question you just asked. You asked, if you bring this other firm in, is that going to work? And will you still work on the case? And will the client be happy? And the answer was no, no, and no. Okay?
All right. So I'm just a little lost then. You think I need to find a different firm?
Right, you or a person, somebody that will help you with it, that you can put the workload on and direct what needs to be done.
Oh, that's kind of right. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate the information.
You're very welcome. I wish you and your client a great deal of luck. This is a big one. It's important.
Is my client okay though? Is he emotionally, is he doing okay?
He's okay. He's okay. He's lost everything. Okay. And yet he's still okay. But it's going to be hard if he loses you too. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Good luck to both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Lisa, who's next?
I have to find my buttons. They disappeared on me. It's Halloween.
They're all hiding.
All right. The next victim is going to be Angela. Angela, can you unmute?
Yes.
Hey there,
Can you
Angela.
hear? Hi. Well, I'm from the Tampa, Florida area. I'm an Aquarius, and I'm just grateful that some of the burdens are beginning to lift a little bit in life.
Nice. I'm very grateful for you. I think that's wonderful. And this is your house right now. This is the ninth house. And that looks like you should be planning some travel. That's going to make you really, really happy. Okay.
Oh, really? Going back home?
Really, the ninth house is all about travel. It's about higher education. So you're learning a whole lot of things right now. You're feeling freer than you felt in a long time. And yes, either you're planning some travel or even a move, or it might be going back home, or it might be going to another place altogether. You're also expanding in a way that's pushing you beyond, your own four walls. You're reaching out to people, which you haven't done for a while, and that's good. It's very healthy for you. This point here, your sun sign, is part of a cross between all these planets. We've got a lot of planets in Scorpio right now because that's November's birth month, and we have Uranus in Taurus. So that creates what we call a T-square in astrology, and that's coming out into the third house. So there's going to be a whole lot of interaction with sisters, brothers, colleagues, people who you're close to, like close friends, people who comings and goings with people that you feel close to, that you can kind of sit in coffee clutch with. Lots and lots of that kind of communication and closeness. And that's good because you need that right now. You haven't had that, I think, in a long time. And whatever happens here, what communications happen here, is going to make the difference as to where you go. If you do decide to move, because I really feel like there's a move on the table for you. Do I want to move? I don't know if that's your home or your career or both. And if it is both, I'm going to say just do one at a time. It's easier to keep your balance that way. I threw some cards for you while I was looking at the astrology, and these are beautiful. An Ace of Cups, which talks about all kinds of happiness. This is a Two of Wands, which talks about travel and a move, just what I've been talking about. But we do have a few negatives. Life, after all, has ups and downs. You've got to make a decision, a big one you've been sitting on the fence about, and that decision is going to throw your world into chaos. So you have finally got things peaceful, but they're not quite where you want them. And to have them where you really want them, you're going to have to upset the peace. And you've been sitting on the fence about that, haven't you?
Yes, because I've had a lot of chaos.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, wow, I finally got to where I'm okay. So, you don't have to make those choices immediately, but do be aware that, if you really want, because you're going to be either traveling or having a visit from someone that really is what you want. And when you see the fulfillment of what things could be, you're going to change your mind about whether or not you're willing to upset the apple cart. Okay?
Okay.
Things to think about. Now, do you have a specific question?
I do, just because I have been feeling like some changes were coming and possibly a move, but I hope not back to Virginia. I want to stay in Florida. But I have been trying to approach a boss at one of my jobs about becoming a district manager, and I can't get a good read on that. And in the meantime, I have back part-time to a boss that had fired me a few years ago, and then trying to deal with real estate and managing apartments. So,
What's interesting is that in this moment, the one that fired you a few years ago that you don't like, you're actually doing better with than the one that you want to be the district manager on. Um, it's kind of interesting, isn't it, how that works out? There is a
yes.
very good probability that you're going to move back to Virginia. Now, who's the family that you have back there? Is that a son?
My parents, my two sons live here with me. My younger son graduates this year.
And where is he?
Here in Florida with me.
Interesting. Okay, because honestly, it looks like to me, it doesn't look like you're going back for your parents. It looks like you're going back for one of your kids. So I don't know if one of them might get a job change up there, or maybe one of them is going to go to school up there. But it really feels like one of the kids is going to be in that general area, and you're going to have to really look, is this where I want to be? And work-wise, I'm not really in the mode that I really want to be in here, so why not? Okay. Now you can come back a year, or let's see, this whole thing will probably manifest between 2 and 2.5 years from now. So if you're going, it's probably not, you don't do anything really fast. Okay. So this is probably within 2.5 years I'm looking at. Okay. And you can come back then and tell me if I was right or not. How's that?
All right. So right now, my best bet is to stay with the boss that fired me that I don't trust, and stay as a part-time apartment manager for the other one.
And the answer is yeah. And I know the good, I hate to put it this way, but the enemy you know about is no longer a threat. You know exactly who the guy is, so you can live with him, so to speak. Okay.
Oh, wow. So then I'm going to be juggling these 3 jobs things. I'm trying to do real estate. I mean, is it going to come a point in time where something's going to give? Or
Well,
is that big decision?
I do see you juggling the jobs for a while, and what's going to actually change the situation isn't going to be you. It's honestly, it's going to come from one of your sons. You've got 2 sons that are going to be making big changes, and your reaction to their changes is going to change your life. Doesn't it sound like fun?
I don't want to go back to Virginia.
And so don't. But I don't, well, let's just see. Will you stay in Florida? There's that possibility too. I can't be sure. But I do know that you're going to be torn in both directions, but it's not because of your parents, it's because of the kids.
Wow.
Okay? And it may not be that the kids are going to Virginia, it might be that general vicinity in that area. But it feels like one's here, one's there. Okay, so there's going to be a question mark about where you want to be. And I'm going to move on because I'm going to try to hit more people. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Lisa, who's next? I'm going to start trying to move a little bit faster, folks. You've got the feel for how this goes.
All right, the next person is going to be Joyce.
Hello there,
Joyce, you're unmuted. Joyce G, can you unmute yourself?
I think so.
Hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi there.
I'm from Florida,
Uh-huh.
in Lecanto, Florida. My sign is Leo.
Okay.
And my thing I'm happiest with is my family.
Okay, and that makes all the sense in the world. Look at this. You're on the 3rd house, which is all about, sisters, brothers, siblings, close friends, neighbors, everybody coming in and out right now. But the Leo is the sign that's actually on the cusp of the house of family. So yeah, it's about family right now, as it should be. We're at that time of the year especially. We do have that in the same exact, isn't that funny? Our last caller was an Aquarius, and you're a Leo. You're her opposite sign. So that T-square that she had, you also have. Only where hers was coming out in that 3rd house, which says if I move, I want it to be local, I want it to be in Florida. Yours is coming out in that 9th house that says, oh, heck, I'm ready to go. It's interesting. Now, I don't know if you're actually going to be making any kind of a move. I think it's more likely that you're just going to be doing some traveling coming up, and that could be for the holidays. So I'm hoping you got a nice trip planned. I also want to ask about your husband. Is he planning a career change? Because it looks like there's a career move around him.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, talk to him about it.
He's a career truck driver. He's going to be retiring soon, so.
That's it. Okay, there's your career change. Okay. And the thing is, he's something of an entrepreneur. He is not the guy who can stop driving the truck and sit home and watch TV with a beer. That's not who he is. So, for him, he's going to retire from that job, and then he's going to be looking around for other things that he can get involved with. That'll either be a hobby or hopefully on his part something that he can bring some money in with. And he's not somebody to let the grass grow under his feet. He's already taken a look at that, which I think is kind of cool. And, he may ask you for some help and support. You would do wise to reserve as much judgment as you can, because he might ask you for your opinion and then get mad at you for giving it. So say, yeah, hon, that's fine. He's going to do it. Okay. And it looks like he's going to manage the money in a good way, which I think has been one of your worries. Now, what's your specific question?
I'm just wondering about my health and career.
Okay. Your health's been up and down, hasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Did you lose, this is going to sound really way out, so please bear with me, but did you lose somebody who you were close to in the family, a family member within like the last, between 14 months and 2.5 years?
I lost a pet
Okay. That's
that I was very close to.
now it's even getting weirder. And what did that pet pass from?
IMHA. It's anemia disease in dogs that takes them very quickly and suddenly with no warning.
Wow. Because the reason I'm asking, unless there's some human that's been around you that also passed during that time period, what I'm getting is that there's a connection energetically between you and this personal pet that's passed. And that connection is draining your life force. It's almost like you're having symptoms that are the same as theirs. That's why I thought it was a human. Is it possible it's a pet? Yeah. Have you been having like the same kind of symptoms, the low energy, the difficulty, stress on your joints, things like that? Or is it just,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Difficulty breathing. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's almost like you struggled so hard to keep your dog alive that you took his illness on.
I don't know. What's really ironic is today's my mom's birthday. She passed away several years ago, but I'm so glad I got to speak to you on her birthday.
Now, what did she pass of?
Bladder cancer or kidney cancer.
No, and that's not it. I don't see a connection with you with that at all. Honestly, I think you're picking. It sounds way out, but
I've been grieving a lot over this pet.
I think you've taken on your pet's illness.
So is it going to get better?
Well, it'll get better when you let your pet die. Do you understand what I said when I say that?
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, and I understand this. I breed Pekingese, and I've had a couple of my Pekingese that were more important to me than you could possibly imagine, unless you're you who felt that way about your dog. And the thing you've got to understand is, they have shorter lives than us, but isn't it lovely and wonderful that they share so much with us when we're here, or when they're here?
I've actually been desperately trying to find a way to connect with my spirit guide to check on my dog.
Okay.
Does that sound ridiculous?
Well, hey, your dog might be your spirit guide, but guess what? First, you've got to let your dog go before he can come back as a guide. And Lisa, who's really good with pets, by the way, she's a great pet psychic. Lisa will often tell you that she uses her dog as an example. When her big Laney passed of cancer of the pineal, okay, within a couple of months, she got that, I need to go get Laney. She came back again. So she's got her baby back again, same dog. The dog came into the house and knew where the bowls were, knew where the cookies were, same old routine, and nothing had changed, okay? So
Wow.
animals may have shorter lives than us, but that also gives us an opportunity to watch them coming and going and know that we are going to get them back again. But you can't get them back either as a guide or as a real pet until you let them go. Okay? And you held
Okay.
on to him so powerfully. You were feeding him your life force to try to keep him alive, and you picked up on the very illness the dog had. Let him go. Let him go. See that cord between you and him, and clip it. It doesn't mean you won't have communication. Let him go so that you can get him back again. Does that make sense?
I will try.
And now, will your health improve if you've done that? Oh, absolutely, and fast. As soon as you let them go, your health is going to really improve. And drop me a line. Let me know if that's accurate, because that's what my guides are saying, and I would like to know myself. That sounds a little,
Okay.
but that's what they're saying.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Lisa, who's next?
The next victim is going to be Jeff. Jeff, you're muted.
Hello.
Hi there, Jeff.
Hey, Sandy. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you today?
I can't complain. So I am Jeff, and I am from Tampa, Florida. And the thing I'm most grateful for would be my recent spouse. I just got married about a year ago, and I am a Gemini.
Like me.
Yes, ma'am.
Great sign. Okay, of course, I don't know if the people around us always feel that way, but I think that we're great.
Yes.
Okay, watch this. If you're a Gemini, and by the way, the part of fortune in this chart's in Gemini, so we Gemini should be having a good time, at least today. This is a fast moving point. But here's your mate in the opposite sign, opposite house. So guess what? There's your mate who shows up. I don't know if he is or she is, but this sounds like a Sagittarian energy, very more outgoing, maybe somebody who opens doors for you, or makes you more open-hearted and willing to accept other people of all walks of life than you otherwise would have been. Um, there is a hard aspect here to Neptune, between the sun sign, Neptune, and this point comes out in the fourth house. So the two of you may be working hard to buy a house, figuring out where you want to live, becoming comfortable with each other's families. There's a lot of family stuff going on around you right now. And you may even have people in the family who live distant from you that you want to travel to get to know better or have come to visit you. There's that kind of stuff going on, especially as we move into the holidays. And there's also that I don't even really know if I want to know all of them. Okay. And that's probably going on with you too. Okay. What is your specific question?
So almost all of that was dead on. She is my significant other is an Aquarius. I personally am rising Sagittarius, and my moon sign's a Sagittarius.
Oh, cool. I'm the astrologer. I love it. Yes.
But, my specific question relates to my significant other, and I've been a single dad for a very long time, raising two kids, just me and the kids, and it's been rough. But I've had a lot of things happen to me in the past, and now I'm in this beautiful relationship, and I feel like I'm with this person that, I don't know, it feels right, and I feel like I've known her in other lives or something. But I just want to know what I can do, or how our relationship is going to be. I mean, it's really young right now, but
Let's look.
is it one that's going to last?
I love the fact that you're an astrologer, because watch what I'm going to do with this Rotary chart. Here you are, right? There's your sun. There's her, the opposing sign, Libra. There's your mate. Even though she's an Aquarian, she's showing up as a Sag. There's the mate. Okay. Remember I said that we've got this T-square going on, right? See that?
Mm-hmm.
Here's your question. Neptune, illusion. How do I know I'm on the right path? I've made so many mistakes in the past. People have left me. People have died. Oh my God, what am I going to do? There's the fear, right, that comes out of this. The energy of that T-square comes out into the fourth house, home, family. How do we pull these families together, make it work? Leo's on the cusp. Follow the chart to Leo. The house that rules Leo is the fifth house. Virgo, she's practical. She's down to earth. She's distinctly un-Aquarian. I hope you realize that. She's very much like this Mars and Libra. Let's be the diplomat. Let's everybody get along well together. There's the Scorpio moon and the part of fortune in pardon me, the sun in the actual chart. This is a gal who had a very hard time growing up. Have you ever talked to her about her own childhood? It wasn't easy.
Um,
Her
yeah,
childhood
she's
wasn't
not talkative.
right. Her childhood wasn't fun. She's not going to want to talk about it. And guess what? That made her very aware of what's going on in your kids' lives and her kids' lives, and she's not going to step on people. Does that make you feel better?
It does. I just know that the big thing is she's so beautiful and so kind, but she's also extremely successful. And the stuff you said at the beginning about looking to buy a house, we're investing, and she has a house and I have a house, and we bought a piece of real estate. But the point that to my question is, I just want to know because I think I have trust issues, and she's so successful and she's out with all these other people, and I love her deeply, but I want to know. Is it just my trust issues? Are my trust issues going to harm our relationship?
Well, certainly they will. Okay, certainly they will. Now we're getting into a whole different animal. Okay, you have to trust your mate. Okay, but you have to trust yourself more, right? And you have to promise yourself that you will always be true to yourself. And you have to trust your intuition, which in the past you have denied, haven't you?
Right.
So when your intuition had said, oh, that person's out with somebody, you'd said, no, no, absolutely won't. They wouldn't do that to me. You've been in denial. And because you pushed your intuition down, when you actually found out about it, it was because it got shoved in your face and the world blew up and you said, oh my God, see, I can't trust myself. It's not that you couldn't trust yourself, it's that you didn't believe yourself. So learn
Right.
to trust yourself and learn to be open and honest. And if you have a trust issue and she's out with all these people and she's successful and she comes home and you say, I'm having one of those nights again, hon, can we sit and talk? Tell me who you were with. And if she starts to get cagey and weird, say, this isn't about you. This is about me. I'm learning to trust again. I'm learning to trust my own intuition. And since my intuition has spidey senses that is saying that, man, you were just with somebody who you really, really liked. And she's going to turn around and say, you're right. He was really tall, dark, and handsome and wonderful. And I knew I was coming home to you. But you're right. You picked right up on him. He made a pass.
Thank you, Sandy. That's
Communication is your key. It's not her you have to trust. It's you. Okay? And boy is
I appreciate that, Sandy. I do.
yeah. I think that if she's gonna cheat on you, you would have already known it by now. Okay? But it's you have to trust. Good luck.
Copy that.
Yeah. Enjoy your home, enjoy your family.
Sandy, have a great
And
weekend.
you too. Lisa, we've got time for one more person. My guides seem to have taken a little more time than usual with people. So I think I've read fewer people. But remember, folks, I welcome your questions anytime between now and 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. Who's our last caller for the evening?
Now the last victim
Mm-hmm.
is going to be Kendra. Kendra, you're unmuted.
Hi.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi. My name is Kendra. This is actually the first time I've been able to call into one of these. I'm very thrilled. I am currently in Florida, but I live in Maryland. There's a lot of back and forth. And I am an Aries, and I am incredibly grateful for my husband and my family and the many gifts that I believe that God has bestowed upon me. And my question is sort of about the transition, the career. I'm trying to do a career change, some transition, just a lot of stuff sort of up in the air.
Yeah, and right now you've had so many changes go on over the last 2 years, actually. Kendra, you had,
Yeah.
as an Aries, you had this little guy is Uranus. And you had Uranus going through your sun sign for 7 years. And during that time period, life was nothing except chaos and starts and stops and things explode. It was not fun, okay? Well, over the last 2 years, Uranus went back and forth a couple of times across the cusp here, but it now has left Aries and it's in Taurus. It's still close enough to your sun sign that every time it retrogrades, like right now, you feel like, oh my God, I'm Chicken Little and the sky's going to fall because it always falls. Okay. And the fact is that this planet's not in your sun sign anymore. Isn't that nice? It's going to really disturb all the Taurians, Scorpios, Aquarians, and Leos for a while, but it's not going to bother you so much. Okay? Uranus is great for building and it's great for opportunities, but it's really not good for stability and consistency. It just brings you too many surprises. Meanwhile, though, there is a T-square in this chart in the cardinal signs, okay, including your sun sign, that comes out into this second house. That's how you earn your money. That's your finances. That's business building. And that's where the North Node in the chart is. This is very auspicious for you. So these changes that are coming in right now should help your finances. You're saying you're going back and forth between here and Maryland, and that's probably going to continue for a while. I wish I could say it wouldn't, but it probably is until things really settle down. And it feels like you're going to have a much more stable family life and that your finances are going to be more stable and you'll be losing that feeling of insecurity that you've had for so long. Do you have any specific question?
Yes, I am looking to be down here full time and still hopefully be in a similar position to what I do now, just in this area. But I'm also looking forward to a complete career change in the next couple of years. And I guess I'm just curious if that's going to happen and what the timing might be for either of those.
My guides are showing a complete career change. They're also saying that I'm going to leave this one with you. They're talking about secrecy. And they're saying that, and I don't know if this is because you're doing two different jobs, but there are people that don't know about what each other are doing on either end of your tours or your locations that you're going back and forth between. But my guys are talking about a need for secrecy. Don't let the cat out of the bag until you're ready to make changes. And you're probably not going to be ready to make those changes completely. And this is bothering you because you like to do things quickly. And right now, it's in your best interest to take 1.5 years to 2 years to make this happen and make it happen right, instead of jumping right in and saying, here I am, okay? And that goes against your grain. You know, you're the guy who likes to prepare things ahead of time and then just do them. There's a little bit of an impetuous quality there. And my guides are saying that really isn't going to be in your best interest right now. Make that transition happen slowly, with control, over time, and you're going to be happier that way. Do not tell, on either end of that, journey down. Don't tell one side or the other what's going on until you're ready to make that total transition. Because what you think you're moving into, that you want to move the one job into the other job, doesn't look like that's really going to happen. It looks like what you're planning is a complete career change, and that's the thing that's really going to work. And that's what's going to take a little time to build. But we'll bring a better home life and ultimately probably build your own business and make more money. Okay?
Wow, thank you.
Good luck to you. Okay, everyone, I want to thank you so much for being here this evening with me. Again, this is my Psychic Hour, and I'm Sandy Anastasi. Please sign up for my newsletter to make sure you know when these Psychic Hours are in future. The next one in November is going to be on the 17th. Reminder, VIPs, your next Q&A is November 21st. If you want to take my Plurals webinar, you've got to sign up for it. That will fill up. And it's going to be on November 14th. And the rest you can just read here. And I will see you back here next month. Our next Psychic Hour will be on, November 17th. See you then. Good night, everybody. Have a happy, happy, happy Halloween. I love you all. Bye-bye.